Digital Africa Media presents Everything Digital with Faith History.
Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Everything Digital Show, brought to you by eDigital Africa and, of course, our amazing sponsors, MTN. All right, my name is Faith History, and as always, I'm your hostess with the mostest, and I am going to be your digital guide on this series, the same way I've been for the last 5 years. Can you believe it? It's been 5 years since we started doing this show, podcast, radio show. And I'm still loving it. Everything really is now digital, and people have started getting back to work. And so I've seen a lot of people in the streets. They've stopped wearing masks, even though I'm still wearing. But you know yourselves. All right, let's get right into the show. Today is the third in our series of going global with your brand. All right. So how do you go global with your brand? We talked about it, and you guys should check the show notes if you're listening to this on via podcast. If you're listening to it on radio, definitely go to eDigitalAfrica.com and /podcast, and you should be able to get it. Now, if you don't get it that way, go to our Instagram. All right, because actually, I correct myself. Go to our Instagram and get it that way, or go to our YouTube and get it that way, or go to Anchor and get it that way. So many places you can get it. Google podcast, you can get it that way. So that's how you can get it. But don't go to eDigitalAfrica.com, because right now we are under construction on our website. Why, you may ask? Because we have a facelift, and I can't wait for you guys to see the new look and feel. And it's just been an amazing collaborative effort from our team locally, and even a global team all the way from Pakistan. Amazing what the digital life can be like when you really open yourself up to it. All right, I digress. Time for you to think about the last piece of going global with your business. You're sitting in Lagos, right? You have your business and you're thinking, you know what? I need to be making dollars, or I need to be making euros, or I need to be making pounds, sterling, or yuan, or whatever, and I need to be serving a more global audience. And so you need to listen to the series. And the last piece of it is the logistics part, right? So let's get right into it. A little history on logistics, right? So logistics is basically how your goods are moved from one place to another, mainly from manufacturing to final consumption, right? Which would be to your consumers. And the entire cycle of that movement is called logistics. That's all logistics is. It's just moving your goods from the factory, or from your table, or from your desk, wherever you're creating it from, and right now, of course, there's more digital logistics than ever before. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that. And the logistics industry itself has been just amazingly growing. It's worth $4.7 billion. And by 2025, in 5 years' time, it's going to be worth $6.5 billion. So if there's a business that you're thinking of, logistics might be a new way to go, right? Helping people to get things from Nigeria overseas and vice versa, right? So that's another business idea for you guys. Okay, let's take a quick break, and I'll come right back and talk to you more about logistics. My name is Faith History, and you're listening to Everything Digital. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, make una come help me touchlight this matter. Mama Jenny ask her husband for 1,000 to cook food and get 5,000. Wetin be that?
Na who for you?
As she dey cook, for screen scatter. She can't tell her husband say make him change the screen. Instead, him change the phone, buy am better one. Wetin be that?
Na who for you?
What of the shoe where she talk say she won't buy? As she show am, now 5 different shoe him buy for am one time. Wetin be that?
Na who for you?
She can't tell him say she won't travel go Abuja, but instead of night bus, him buy plane ticket. Call lodger for 5-star hotel. Abeg, wetin be that oh?
Na who for you?
Yes so, Awu for you na the ogbonge 5 times better from MTN. Now, when you recharge with star 888 star pin hash on top your MTN line, MTN go sama you with 5 times your recharge. You fit also enjoy this Awu for on top MTN top it. Just ask your vendor for Awu for you. This offer now for both MTN prepaid and postpaid customers. Terms and conditions dey.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
And we're back. So before we went on break, I did a little intro about today's topic, which is basically digital logistics, which is the last piece of the puzzle in taking your brands global. So back to the history of logistics. Before the advent of e-commerce, as far back as 1850, logistics actually served a different purpose. During World War II, it was a method of moving arms around, right? Like guns and stuff. And after that, logistics moved from warfare to business. Now, and today we've gone digital. Everything can be managed online, including your logistics processes, no matter what kind of goods you sell. So I don't want you to think that logistics is only for those who sell physical products, because there are tips for logistics for even those who sell digital products, right? Because even with digital products, you have to get the good, right? Whether it's a book or a course from, your mind, your head, or whoever is designing it for you, or your own production company, and you have to get that to right to your audience, right to your consumer. So there's a process for that. Now, here are some factors that you have to think about when you're considering choosing a logistics platform. Because you are now having to think for your customer and make sure that you consider them and make sure that you put them up front and central. Number one, can your customers book deliveries in advance? Can they track the movement of their goods in real time? Will they get proof that their goods have been delivered to them? I got a delivery actually from that big brand, Amazon. They're not paying me for this, but I have to mention it because I was so impressed. And they dropped a package for me on my mom's doorstep in the US. Too much information, but they took a picture. And so that's what I saw in my email, was a picture of my mother's doorstep with my package there. Shall I say that, even my mom can't say she never got it, right? Hey, babe, I did not get it. No, she got it. I saw the picture and, I know her front door, and her front stoop and what that looks like. So that's the type of stuff that we're talking about. Are they going to prove that they delivered it? Will your goods get to your customers? Will they have automated receipts? Are they going to have fair pricing? What about integration? Can that platform, the logistics platform that you choose, can it be fully integrated with your e-commerce store? And so that the whole process of placing an order, confirming, sending it and delivering can be seamless. That's very important because even us at eDigital Africa are still tweaking and working through our logistics process for our digital products, right? Because there's so many integrations to worry about. PayPal is not accepted in Nigeria, but it's accepted overseas. There's Flutterwave, there's Paga. There's so many options for how people want to get paid. And you want to try to integrate all the top options plus the banks, and just keep it easy for people to to seamlessly buy your product, pay for it, and get the product already. Accessibility. Again, you're going to be dealing with international clients and customers. You need to have a system that can be accessed and available in those countries and markets while you're sleeping. I always say while you're sleeping, because what if you're sleeping? Time difference, and you're selling a product. Do you want to be woken up because, somebody can't get to your product or they can't order it? It should be seamless. So let's think about that when you're picking a logistics company. And then the next thing I want to talk about is customer service. Does your logistics company or your logistics system that you're putting into place, will it make it easy for your customers to contact you and you contact them? So that's really, really important, because if your goods are amazing, but your customer service is poor, you're not going to make it. So this is one of the places where you can start dealing with putting in like chat bots and, automatic systems in place where even while you're sleeping, again, there's already, a team working for you, even if they're AI. So cool. Anyway, we'll talk about that in another episode. After you certified all of these other aspects, there are physical issues that you may have to deal with as well as digital issues, right? In the locations of your customers. So you need to think about some of these physical things, and I've divided them into two aspects: logistical and transport infrastructure. So Imagine that you are selling perishable goods, flowers, medical supplies, something like that at the airport. You have to think about road access. How do you address, people? How will you address your customers? Cargo processing facilities at the airport. How are your parcels handled? Because people get damaged goods in that process. So you have to look at who are the existing logistics providers in that terrain. So for instance, you set up and partnered with a company in Albania. You want to start selling your products there. Think about who are the best logistics companies that already exist in that market so that they can help you then onboard or forward on your products to your clients. And then also, you have to think about the cost of clearing those goods. Those are things that, people who have been in business for a while, they've kind of worked their way through that. But, you're listening because, you're an entrepreneur, you're a digital entrepreneur, and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I have a product that I want to sell and I need help. So that's why we're putting together this series for you. So in summary, you need to think about logistics for your international deliveries. You need to think about your customs, and you need to think about your last mile delivery. Will they have access, your customers, to postal services and how reliable they are? And that's the show for today. When we come back, or when you guys, think about some of the things that I've said, think through what the logistics plan is going to be, what platforms they're going to be. Can you access those platforms? Let's take a quick break. When we come back from the final break, we can round up and I'll tell you what logistics platforms, digital logistics platforms that I'm looking at using. All right, we'll be right back. Take a break.
10 free gigabytes. Wait, 10 gigabytes free? Just to do a simple upgrade? Oh my goodness, 10 gig. You mean 10 gigabytes free to upgrade from good to better? Oh my goodness, yes! 10 gigabytes free and even more if you refuse to procrastinate today. Yes! Upgrade your 3G SIM to MTN 4G and get a whopping 10 gigabyte data for free, plus double data whenever you buy data of up to 5,000 Naira data plan for 3 months. Just text 4G to 131 to know your SIM status, then visit any MTN store to upgrade your SIM to MTN 4G and enjoy your 10 gigabyte reward on your reliable data network. Remember, a government-issued ID is mandatory. MTN, everywhere you stay.
Welcome back, guys. Okay, before we went on break, I promised to share with you some logistics companies that I have had my eyes on. Some I'm using, some I've never tried before, but they're on my radar because they raise so much money. So let's start with the ones that have raised so much money, and then we can go to the ones that I personally use, right? Okay, so these guys have raised funding. They're African and they're startups. And I'm going to start with Swvl. So Swvl is spelled SWVL, and Swvl is a premium mass transit system that was founded in 2017, just 3 years ago, by Mustafa Kandil, and it's based out in Egypt. And basically, they provide buses to neighborhoods in Cairo, and now they've expanded into Kenya and Uganda, as well as Nigeria. So basically, they allow people to ride in a van or bus during the morning and evening commutes for a fixed flat fare with no surge pricing. They've raised over $80.5 million. Whoa! Kobo 360 is another one. This is a Nigerian logistics startup. And this was one of the first African startups that were last year admitted into Y Combinator's summer cohort. So they have a digital logistics platform that connects truckers to companies with freight needs, right? They were founded in 2017 by Ife Oyedele and Obi Ozor, and Kobo 360 has now raised a total of $27.32 million in funding across 4 different funding rounds. Well done, guys. Lorry Systems, they were on our show last year. They have raised up to $14.9 million, and what they do is they provide logistics platform for cargo transport value chain. So they were founded in 2016 by Ernest Gichini Ngwaria and Josh Sandler, and their own idea is to just revolutionize the logistics industry across sub-Saharan Africa. And that company has not been public with its fundraising details, but they have raised at least $14.9 million. And so those are the ones that I will talk about for now. There's a whole lot more of them. And before I finish, I want to talk about the ones that I use personally and, from a business point of view, right? So for products that I need to order from the abroad, I use corporate messengers, and I like their system because they respond very well to email. So when we talked about customer service, they have addresses that all over the UK and the US, so you can order your products, send it to them, they can drop ship it, they'll send it back here, they'll email you, they'll accept money from you in Naira or euros or sterling, or dollars. So I like the fact that they're flexible with their pricing that way, and they'll bring stuff right to my door. So corporate messengers, I use them. I use Kajabi. So let's talk about digital products. Kajabi for our online courses, that's what we use. So they're kind of pricey, but they just deliver. And then I use like Shopify for our digital products around like ebooks and stuff. So we use Shopify for that. So those are the logistics companies that I personally and from a business standpoint use. I'm sure I use a couple more, but those are the main ones that I know how I will have a good experience. I'll get the product that I need to get out to the customers. And I want to hear from you guys, like what logistics companies do you use that work really well for you? Send us a DM on Instagram. You can holler at us, eDigital Africa, on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, and we will holler back. Now, speaking of social media, as usual, I want to do a shout out to some of our followers and our amazing tribers this week, because you know what? They're always with us and they're always sharing our stuff and they're always sharing great stuff on their own as well. So you guys should follow these people next. Let's start with @Dexclusive. Dexclusive is spelled DEX. Exclusive. And then there's @Mero41, @Chika.moments, @Remiajayi, @Moturayo.Akinshete. I like that name. Akinshete is AKINSETE. Please check them out. Follow them. Trust me, you'll be wowed by all the insightful content that they provide. They're digital tribals, guys. Anyways, that's the show for me today. I hope that you have been able to look into digital as well as physical aspects of logistics, and you start thinking about what you need to consider to take your brand, your own personal brand, global, right? Whether it's digital products that you're selling or physical products that you're selling. So think about all of that stuff and make sure you integrate the logistics part into your whole entire plan. Don't leave it out, because at some point somebody will reach out to you on social media and say, hey, I love that dress that you're selling, or I love that hat that you're wearing or selling, and I need it and I'm sitting in Spain. How are you going to get it to them? So you start thinking about that. And, and I hope that you are successful, because that is why we do this show, to make sure that you are able to use digital platforms in the best way possible and become successful on your own and build your brand. And we want to do this collaboratively always, like by building our brand and building you up, then you build us up, vice versa. I hope you guys get it. All right. Follow us on eDigital Africa everywhere. My name is Faith History. It's been a pleasure, as always, doing the show and just talking to you guys. So talk back to me at Faith History. That's it. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I am on Twitter at Faith History. Talk to me. I'll talk right back to you. Okay? All right. Talk to you guys next time. Until that time, it's goodbye for now from me, your girl, Faith History. Toodles!
For more on this topic, visit www.eDigitalAfrica.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Everything Digital is brought to you by MTN. This is a Faith History production.